All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's October 20th, 2020. October the 20th, 2020. And it's the Let's Talk to Cutler time. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. And I did something. I brought these. They're a little dusty, a little dirty, but I brought these along with me tonight because I'm wondering how many of you wear glasses? How many of you need glasses, but you don't wear them? Now, I brought along these glasses with me tonight because I think that there's some of us who might need a little help being able to see ourselves just a little bit better. And we need a little help being able to see the promises of our future. So I brought these glasses with me just in case some of my family and friends need an extra pair of glasses tonight. All right. Listen, for the next 1800 seconds, I am with you in your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, your car, if you're listening, but your car if you pulled over driving. Just paying attention to everybody and everything. All right. So then, I'm Cutler. Again, we're here in the Let's Talk to Cutler program for the next 1800 seconds. I'm with you. And let me take a look and see who the LTTC VIPs are for the evening. It looks like Jackie, Hattie, and Quanikia are the LTTC VIPs. But hey, good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be here with you. Glad to see you. Do me a favor as you're coming on in the room. Go ahead and give a thumbs up to the conversation. That tells YouTube that you like the content. It also sort of encourages me to at least let me know that I'm saying something positive and saying something helpful again. So listen, if you wear glasses or you need glasses, why don't you just drop that in the comment? Hey, I wear them or I need them. All right. Of course, you all know that we are chit-chatting, we're talking, basing our conversation off this book here, Billboards to Better. Do you all know that there are 366 sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life? We're sharing and we're talking about it. If you don't have yours, run on over to Amazon.com and get it. And if you have not, make sure that you share. Are you guys sharing this conversation with anybody? Are you sharing this dialogue? I think we're saying some good stuff here. I hope we're talking about some good stuff. I hope that we're leaving here feeling a little bit better than we did when we got here, especially on a Tuesday or Thursday evening. All right. And yes, I know people pick at me for how I say Tuesday, but that's all I know how to say. Again, thank you all for being here with me. I'm going to put these glasses aside for right now. But again, drop down in the comments and just give me a note to say either I wear them or I need them. I'm just curious to see what the feedback is. All right. Again, go ahead and do a thumbs up on this conversation and make sure that you share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. All right. So it's good to see everybody. It's good to see everybody. It's Tuesday, October the 20th, and we're going to take a look at our quotes for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, October the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So let's go ahead and get started. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see all of you. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what October the 18th says because I only have 1800 seconds. I got to make it count. I got to make it work for us, right? So then, let me see. October the 18th says, God would have never called you good if good couldn't come from you. God believes in you. Right off the bat, we're going to see what are those glasses about? Why do we need those glasses tonight? All right. God would have never called you good if he didn't see good in you, if he didn't believe in you. And you all, guess what? This is just a simple reminder, or maybe a very powerful reminder, that sometimes you've got to be self-affirming. You've got to see the good in you when nobody else sees the good in you. You've got to believe in you when nobody else believes in you. You have got to see your strength when other people just see your weaknesses. You've got to see your future rather, when people are only looking at your past. And you have got to celebrate your accomplishments when everybody else wants to remind you of your failures. So this is really about being self-affirming tonight. It's not about being selfish. It's simply about being self-affirming because guess what? If you don't see the value and the worth in you, who else is going to see it? Sometimes they don't see it until we learn how to project it. So listen, start seeing your accomplishments rather than your failures. Start seeing your future rather than your past. Start seeing your strength rather than your weakness. Sometimes just go in the mirror and stand there until you see something positive. Do not leave the mirror until positivity talks back to you. All right? I'm telling you, what this reminds me of is the aging population of people who need reading glasses to see the things that are sometimes very right in front of our face, that are very close to us. And we have difficulty sometimes. Yeah, I have my glasses on because sometimes I have difficulty seeing the things that are right in front of me. And it is true for us, sort of proverbially, or just, as an analysis, it's like that with us in life sometimes. We can better focus on the things that are far away than we can the things that are right up close in front of us. What am I saying, you all? I'm saying that sometimes the grass and the other people in the other people's pastures look greener. Sometimes the houses and the relationships that other people have look better. Sometimes their career paths look like they're so much more prosperous than ours. And sometimes their profiles on social media look better than ours. But guess what? We are seeing things that are far off. We really have no clue of how they look up close and in person. And although things are not always as though they appear that are going on in other people's lives, I'm not talking about other people tonight, you all, because again, how many seconds do I have with you? 1,800, right? I only have 1,800. So I'm not really talking about what's going on with them tonight, but for tonight, the Let's Talk a Couple of followers and those who are going to take a look at this, we are being a little selfish tonight. We're being self-affirming. We're taking a look at ourselves and what's going on. And so this is about the ability for you to tap into yourself and to look at your own strength and to see inside of you. And maybe you just need an extra set of glasses. Maybe you need an extra pair of glasses to see inside of you and see the good inside of you and to recognize your value. So tonight, I want you to recognize your worth, or at least some of your worth. I want you, listen, don't you know this? Don't you know that if you did not have any potential for good, God would have never brought you on this earth? I'm telling you, if you had no potential for good, the Creator would have never brought you here. And if He believes in you, then we ought to learn to believe in ourselves. So stop believing that you are a failure. Let me tell you something about a failure. I was thinking about this thing earlier today. I'm telling you all, that's why I'm sort of charged up, because I was thinking, that's right, for the next 1,800 seconds. I'm telling you all, I'm a little charged up because I was thinking about this thing today. How dare we call ourselves failures? And how dare we let other people call us failures? And how dare we slip into other people's negative assessment of us? Let me help you all with failures for just a moment. Failures don't question themselves. Failures don't see why they failures don't try to make themselves better. Failures don't stop and talk to themselves. Failures don't try to regroup. Failures just lie there and they waddle and they wade in whatever is going on. They never want to be better. They never hope to be better. They never try to be better. But I'm telling you all tonight, if there's any hope inside of you, if there's any want inside of you, if there's any try inside of you, you are not a failure. Yes, we may have failing circumstances in our lives, but that does not define the sum total of who we are. I've had a lot of failures, but I myself, I am not a failure, and neither are you. Yes, there are some things that didn't go right, some things that did not go as planned, some things that went awry, some things that went haywire, some things in your life that were derailed, but you are not a failure. We've had failing circumstances, but we are not failures. We are not failures. And I'm telling you, I want to offer you all two things tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Mother Rosie. We are not failures, you all. I'm telling you, God does not bring failures to the earth. He does not bring failures to the earth. And he would have never brought you to the earth if he didn't see good inside of you. He just would not have done it. He wouldn't have done it. So failures don't try. Failures don't hope. Failures don't want to be better. But if you try, you hope, you want to be, you are not a failure. You are not a failure. So I want to offer you two things tonight. For as much as I can, I want to offer you two things. I want to offer you the gift of hope and the gift of possibility. Because if you have hope, that means that you expect things in your life to get better. If you lay hold and lay claim to possibility, then you think that all things are possible, and they are. And especially when you have a strong, solid spiritual plateau, all things, you all, are possible. So those are my gifts to you all tonight. Those are my offerings to you tonight here on the Let's Talk the Cutler platform. You all share this with somebody else. I'm just offering the gifts of hope and the gifts of possibility. And if you have laid claim and if your hand and your heart has grasped those two things, then I want to give you another gift. I want to give you another offering. And that is the gift of release, so that you can release that into somebody else's life. If you are fine with that gift, if you've laid hold to that gift, if you've laid firm and you have a good grasp on that gift, y'all, then I give you the gift of release. Release it and give it to somebody else. Because somebody in our circles don't have hope, you all. Somebody don't believe that all things are possible. And that's what I'm trying to offer us tonight. So then, so we can look at ourselves and say, you know what? I am not a failure. The Creator believes in me. And because God believes in me, I believe in myself. And sometimes you've got to believe in other people, you all, until they believe in themselves. It is true. It is very true. We don't always walk in 100% of who we are. We just don't. And neither do our brothers and our sisters. So let's be strength for them in all that's going on, in all of the sham and the drudgery of what's going on. This is still a beautiful world. Let's help people to see the beauty in it tonight, you all. I only have 1,800 seconds with you, so I'm trying to make it count. You believe in yourself today because there's somebody who's watching you who needs to be able to believe in themselves tomorrow. All right? So believe in yourself. Believe in the beauty of who you are. Believe in the splendor of who you are. Believe in the wonder of who you are. Believe in the victory of who you are. Believe in the excellence of who you are. Believe in the Creator that lives down inside of you. I'm telling you all, just believe and get those gifts of hope and those gifts of those gifts of hope and the other gift of possibility, and then the gift of release. All right, I got to go into October the 19th. Do you all have this book, Billboards to Be? I'm just talking from this book, you all. I'm just chit-chatting from this book because when I'm telling you that I was inspired to write this, and every time I read it, I'm encouraged. Every time I read it, I have some degree of hope that there is a better along this journey, that there's a better along life's pathway. All right, so October the 19th. Go ahead. If you are having, go ahead and share this conversation. But October the 19th, October 19th says, it's chilling and sobering to realize that we have something in common with criminals. My goodness. What do we have in common with them, Cutler? Well, Jesus came for us, but he came for them too. You all. This is all about humility. This is all about humility. Most of you all know I grew up in the country. And the people who watched over me and the people who really poured into my life, those were the people who reminded me that above everything that you ever get, young man, make sure that you keep humility. Why? Because I think that one of the greatest gifts that God could have offered us or could have given us is humility. Why do I say that? I say that because humility allows us to keep our heads out of the clouds so that we can count our blessings, and so that we can not only count our blessings, but so that we can be counted by somebody as a blessing. That's what humility does. Humility helps us to be thankful for what we have, but to also be able to celebrate what others have. Humility helps me to remember that no matter how grand or how wonderful or how successful or educated or accomplished that we might be, we are no better than our brothers and our sisters who are sleeping on a park bench. We're no better than our brothers and sisters, you all, who are standing in soup lines. We are no better than our brothers and our sisters, and they are our brothers and our sisters who are sometimes begging on the streets, you all. That's what humility does for us. Humility, it helps us to remember that no matter how intellectually sound we might be, we are no better than our brothers and our sisters who are wrestling with things like schizophrenia and Alzheimer's and clinical depression. We are no better than they are. Maybe we have some better circumstances, but we are no better than they are. We're no better than they are. Humility reminds us that in the grand scheme of things, this thing that is called the human race, that I sit in the same boat and I sit at the same table of opportunity with common criminals. And I sit there with those who, but by the grace of God, there go I. That's what humility will teach us. That's what humility reminds us. And so I wrote this one because it reminds me that we have something in common with everybody who is in the human race. I'm telling you all, it really, I grew up and there was a woman back home who always said, stay low and humble, stay low and humble. And that thing never resonated with me so much until I became an adult and I understood what humility was all about. Humility, humility. I'm telling you all, this really speaks to me because it is important. It is so important that with all that we get, with all that we achieve, with all that we accomplish, let us never forget that we are in this thing called the human race. And so humility reminds me never to get so caught up in my positions until I forget my purpose. I hope I'm encouraging somebody tonight. It is okay. It is okay to walk in humility. I didn't say that you have to walk in shame. I didn't say you have to walk in less. I didn't say that you have to walk in want. I didn't say you have to walk in any of that. But I said you can walk in humility because, again, it reminds me that for all of the positions I may have, that I should never forget my purpose. Why would you say that, Cutler? Because there is, well, you all know where I'm going, because there is one whose title was carpenter. But his work was to save, his work was to heal, his work was to restore and to offer hope. I don't care what his title was. His title may have been carpenter or carpenter's son. But that was his work, to heal and to restore, to do all of that. His position was carpenter, but his purpose was to redeem and to restore. I'm telling you all this. It is okay to walk in humility because wherever we are in life and whenever and whatever we have, it is because God allowed it. Wherever we are and whatever we have, it is because God allowed it, and he never, ever allowed anything that would cause us to see others through negative lenses. Absolutely not. So whatever you have, if it's causing you to see other people through a negative lens, it does not come from the creator of the whole wide world. It absolutely does not. I only have 1,800 seconds, y'all. I've got to make every second count. I'm trying to challenge us to be better. I'm motivating us to be better, and I'm inspiring us to be better. All right. So I'm telling you all this because I believe in you all and I believe in all of this. People will sometimes look at you and they will make an assessment about you based on what you have. But one of the things that you ought not let them put on you is the ability to forget that you are a member of the human race. I'm telling you all, because for as much as the Savior of the world came, and he had position and he had title, but he didn't forget the real work and he didn't forget his purpose. I've got to go over to October 20th because I only have how many seconds? 1,800. I've got to make them all count. I hope I'm with you in your living room, your kitchen, your dining room, wherever you are. Again, you all know that we're basing our conversation on this book. If you don't have it, roll on over to gbcutler.com or Amazon and get it. And if you haven't liked the conversation, please go right down there and do a thumbs up. I'm going to go on to October 20th and read this one. It's plain and it's simple. Give God your RSVP before it's too late. Simple and powerful. Give God your RSVP before it is too late. You all know I'm going to go there in just a moment, but within the context of life, I think about how we sometimes miss opportunities because we were invited to events, but we never sent our RSVP. Somehow we abandoned the opportunity to reserve a space to reap the benefit of something that will happen in the future. Let me see if I can say that again or a different way. We sometimes fail to do what is required now so that we can reap the reward of what's to come then. You all know I'm from the country. I grew up in the South. And there's an old cliche, there's an old saying that says, don't put off for tomorrow, you all know it, what you can do today. And there's an old song. I grew up singing it. It was one of my favorites. It's not very, very old, but it is old in my journey. And it was sung by a well-known group of brothers, the Winans. They sang this song that said, tomorrow. And who said tomorrow would ever come for you? And the song, the lyrics go on to say, for tomorrow very well might begin today. So let us not put off for tomorrow what we can do today. And that's what an RSVP is. An RSVP requires some action today to secure something that you're going to have tomorrow. You all know I'm about to go somewhere with this one. An RSVP today secures something that we will have tomorrow. And let me tell you a little bit about me. I don't play when it comes to promises. And that's what an RSVP is. I really don't play when it comes to promises, because the promise might not get me the manifestation until tomorrow, but it gets me the relationship today. It is so true. It is so true. The promise might not get me the manifestation of the thing until tomorrow, but it seals my relationship today. In the law and even in life, relationships are formed based on accepting promises. You all know that I've taught, some of you all know that I've taught law for almost 20 years now. So let me give you this example. If I promise to mow your lawn this coming Friday in exchange for your promise to pay me $100, and you accept my promise with your promise to pay me $100, guess what, you all? We have a relationship today. You might not get your lawn mowed until Friday, and I might not get the $100 until Friday. But as of today, we have a relationship. Let me see if I can give you one more example. You all didn't think you were coming to a business law based on contracts class. I know you didn't, but let me give you one more. Another example. If I promise to bake you a cake for your birthday party next Thursday, in return for you giving me $75 today, and you accept my promise to deliver the cake with your giving me the $75 today, guess what? You have not seen the manifestation of getting the cake that's showing up next week. But because you gave me the $75, we have a relationship today because you accepted my promise. Some of the same principles with how we manage our natural life, they ought to apply to how we handle our spiritual life. It really, really ought to apply. I'm telling you, it is the same way. So when God says to us, love me now, and I promise to make everything work together for your good later. When he says, accept me now, love me now, and I promise to make everything work out for your good later. We have a relationship with him right then. Right now, we have a relationship. And later on, all along life's way, things are going to work together for our good. Why? Because we formed a relationship today. I have the promises for tomorrow because of what I did today. So when he gives you the RSVP, send it back before it's too late. When he says, I'm standing at the door and I'm knocking, if you let me in, I'll come in and I will give you eternal life. If we accept him by letting him in today, we have the promise of eternal life. And guess what? We have a relationship today. It's just that easy. It's just that, I'm telling y'all, it is just that easy. Let's not always look for this thing that's called instant gratification. But be reminded, you all, be reminded, and I'm sort of winding down because we're spending this time together, and I'm just encouraging you, I hope, and inspiring you. But let's not always look for instant gratification. Let's be reminded that life comes with rewards all along the journey. It really does. And when you enter a relationship today, There is the promise that you get jewels and nuggets and wonders all along the journey tomorrow. And if you would just submit your RSVP today, there's a wonderful banquet that awaits you tomorrow. It really, really does. We might get out of here a little early tonight, but I want to make this 1,800 seconds with you all count. And so I'll say this to you in closing, as we get ready to, close and wrap this up. I hope you all feel better. I hope you feel motivated. I hope you feel encouraged. I hope you feel inspired, especially on a Tuesday night, sitting here chatting with the Let's Talk a Cutler family after we've recognized our LTT VIPs for this evening. I want to remind you of this. God would have never called you good if he didn't see good, if he didn't think good could come from you. He believes in you. Let's believe in ourselves. Even if you need to put on an extra pair of glasses to see the good in you, put them on and see the good in you. And then remember, it's chilling and sobering to be reminded that we have something in common with criminals. What do we have? We're all in this human experience together. And then understand that there are some things that you do now to secure your later. It may not manifest until later, but give your RSVP to God today before it's too late. I want to end by reading something to you, sharing something with you. At the end of this wonderful journey, if we submit our RSVP today, we get invited, we get to participate and to partake in this wonderful banquet. I wrote this poem years ago. Honestly, I don't remember what year it was, but it's in my second, it's in my second book, Thoughts Keep Flowing. If you were to ask me what I'm thinking, that's the subtitle of this. And the title of this poem is The Welcome Table. You all go ahead and share this conversation with somebody else as I read this and we get ready to close. The Welcome Table. One day I will enter in. A cloud of witnesses will be my friend. A doorkeeper will escort me home. I'll behold his image, but I'll see my own. He will wipe my brow as I sit at his feet. Without even saying a word, he will give me a seat at the welcome table. This has been 1,800 seconds on the Let's Talk to Cutler platform, on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. I hope you all feel motivated. I hope you feel encouraged. I hope you feel inspired. And I hope you are reminded that we are all in this thing called life together. And each Tuesday and Thursday, we come here so that we can hop in the car together and ride down the highway of life, reading the billboards so that we can become better. Remember, let's continue maintaining connectivity. Let's continue building community. Keep your heads up. Keep your hopes up. Stay safe and stay sane. Meet me right back here this Thursday. And until then, have a joyous evening, a refreshing and rewarding tomorrow. Do something good for yourself and say something good about somebody else. Good night.